The station smelled wrong. Marla Dax couldn't put her finger on it. Metallic tang, ozone, and something else. Decay. The kind that clung to your nose and made your throat tighten. Triv had no such complaints. The spindly robotic scout floated ahead, its circular eye darting left and right, casting pale blue light across the web-covered corridor. "This place gives Ghost Town a bad name," Triv said, its voice modulated just enough to sound smug. "Last chance to reconsider, Marla. No one would blame you for turning tail. Except me, obviously." Marla rolled her eyes and checked her pulse rifle. "The guild paid half up front. You know how rare that is? We're doing this." Jax, the kid, shuffled behind her, clutching a bulky toolkit like a lifeline. His face, pale beneath the dim lighting, betrayed his thoughts. What the hell am I doing here? Marla didn't blame him. Rookie technicians didn't sign up for bioengineered nightmare fuel. But she needed him. If the Spindlers had really infested the station's systems, a tech could be the difference between completing the job and dying here. The floor underfoot felt sticky. Organic webbing pulsed faintly, like veins running through the station's steel skin. "Biosigns ahead," Triv announced. "A lot of them." Marla signaled for silence and stepped forward. The corridor widened into a hangar, its far side swallowed in darkness. Shadows shifted above, silent, purposeful. Spindlers. They clung to the ceiling, dozens of them, their spiked legs curling unnaturally as they moved. One dropped suddenly, landing in a crouch just meters away. "Waste disposal units, my ass," Jax whispered. The creature's eyes glittered like obsidian, and its elongated mandibles clicked as it analyzed the intruders. Then it lunged. Marla fired, her pulse rifle lighting the room with sharp bursts. The first shot struck the Spindler mid-leap, sending it sprawling. 2 more shots ensured it stayed down. The others, alerted by the noise, began descending in unison, skittering along the walls and floor. "Time to go," Triv shouted, zipping back toward the corridor. The 3 of them retreated into the narrow passageway. Marla covered their rear, firing in controlled bursts, while Jax fumbled with a portable drone, releasing it with shaking hands. The device hovered upward, emitting a high-pitched whine and a faint mist. "Distractors online," he yelled. "Synthetic pheromones. Should keep them busy." The pursuing Spindlers hesitated, their attention drawn to the drone. Marla didn't wait to see how long it would hold. They pressed deeper into the station. The webbing grew thicker, the walls lined with nests of pulsating eggs. Marla's skin crawled. "You ever wonder why people like us take these jobs?" Jax asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "Nope," Marla said. "Keeps the lights on." "And what happens when the lights go out?" Triv snickered. "Don't worry, kid. For Marla, that's what the payday's for. Buying better lights." Ahead, the corridor opened into the station's control hub. The core itself loomed at the center, a column of machinery pulsating with energy. And there she was, the Spindler Queen. She was enormous, her body fused grotesquely with the station's systems. Metallic appendages sprouted from her chitinous frame, feeding into the core like parasitic vines. It was clear now, she hadn't merely mutated. The Spindler's original design had included neural links for waste processors, and she'd adapted them to the station's controls. Her mandibles clicked a rhythm, and the lights in the room flickered. "Great," Marla muttered. "She's got tricks." The Queen let out a shriek that rattled their bones. Spindlers poured in from every entrance, a tide of legs and eyes. "Triv, the diversion!" The robot zipped upward, releasing a burst of flashing light and sound. The Spindlers hesitated, disoriented. Jax scrambled toward the core, planting explosives while Marla held the line. The pulse rifle grew hot in her hands as she fired shot after shot. "Almost done!" Jax yelled. The Queen turned toward him, her limbs shifting to swipe. Marla dove forward, slamming into Jax and knocking him aside, just as the appendage struck the floor where he'd been. "Move!" The explosives armed, they sprinted for the exit, Triv rejoining them as the Queen let out another unholy scream. The station trembled as the charges detonated, fire ripping through the corridors. "Timed blast radius was precise," Triv said as they launched in their shuttle. "Which you're welcome for." Marla leaned back, letting out a breath she hadn't realized she'd been holding. "Worth it?" Triv asked. Marla looked at her hands, still trembling, not sure anymore. The stars stretched endlessly beyond the viewport, cold and distant. Somewhere out there, another job waited, but maybe not for her.